Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Women in Streaming Media Education podcast. Now, today I am going to do something a little bit crazy and try and cram in two guests to this episode, this 20 minutes, but for good reason, and it's all kind of linked together. So I know that's a bit crazy, but there is a good reason for it. Our first guest is Constanza Dibueno, who was first introduced to the video tech industry when she joined Qualabs 3 years ago. She was completing a bachelor's degree in audiovisual engineering in Uruguay. She's worked as a software developer and moved into her role now as a team leader at Qualabs, where she's responsible for professional growth and project management, whilst she's also been studying a degree in computer science. Earlier last year now, in 2024, she participated in the annual Demuxed conference as a speaker, which was where we actually ended up meeting, not at Demuxed, but in preparation for her presentation there. And Coti, as she likes to be known, was introduced to me by Micaela Hornblas, who is our second guest today. She is the growth and marketing lead for Qualabs. Just as a bit of a background, Qualabs offers cutting-edge software solutions and product development for video tech and media and entertainment industry. And Micaela is really actively engaged in the video tech community. She organises something called the Montevideo Tech Meetups and their talks and their flagship summer camp. Now, this is where it ties together. So Coti was working on one of the open source contributions at the summer camp, which was where she then formulated her presentation to be submitted to Demuxed. Now, another part of the background of Micaela is that she is one of Women in Streaming Media's speaking committee, advocating for diversity in amplifying women's voices, which she does very, very well. As she then introduced me to Coti, who I worked with using our Speaker Confidence Programme for her presentation at Demuxed. And that is why we are here today with these two wonderful guests who are going to tell us all about this. I'm going to start off by talking a bit about the project that you did, Coti. So if you just wanted to tell us a little bit about what that was. It was titled How to Play Dash on Your HLS Player, and what the kind of technical challenges were. How did this project kind of come about?
Yeah, sure. This project came about because nowadays content providers who need to reach broader audiences relies on protocols like Dash and HLS to be able to stream from different devices. And of course, that brings some interoperability challenges. And for example, that means they need to be able to support both delivery protocols, even when the content itself is the same. For example, by storing the same content twice, like one for Dash and one for HLS. But here is where CMAF kicks in. CMAF is a standard that explains simple. It makes a content compatible with both HLS and Dash by packaging data under a single container. So instead of storing two files for the same content, you only need to store one file, which is one container type. So what we did on the Montevideo Summer Camp is to create a library that is based on this CMAF standard to convert between HLS and Dash, and finally we can play a Dash manifest in a kind of HLS player. But I can explain how later.
Yeah, so I was just kind of wondering what the sort of step-by-step process was to go through that, considering like crucial decisions that had to be made to kind of bring this project about.
Basically we take like a Dash manifest and map it to a CMAF HAM model based on these CMAF specifications. And that enabled us to take the CMAF HAM object and map it to an HLS playlist. So that way we can convert a Dash manifest into an HLS playlist and then play the content directly on an HLS player. So that's the cool part. And kind of about the most crucial decisions, well, since this was a project we made during the summer camp, of course, we have to reduce the scope on the time we have to do the project. So there's a few things that we left behind. For example, this library only works with both content, and it doesn't work with live content yet. But yeah, regarding the scope, there's a few things that we needed to left because of the time we had. So yeah, I think that's related to the most crucial decisions, like leaving some things and just working on what we knew we could do in that time.
But you are still kind of working on this now, aren't you? This was kind of like the first stage, so you are taking that beyond this.
Well, right now there are a few new summer projects, so I guess the
which
summer
we'll
camp
come to later.
Yeah, the summer camp contributors are working on that right now. So the CMAF HAM library, I guess it's in waiting state. So yeah.
Awesome. So thinking about that, the fact that Dash and HLS are two of some of the most widely used protocols at the moment, how do you see what you've created, this solution, impacting that cross-protocol interoperability in the future, improving that user experience for streaming platforms?
Yeah, well, in the future, I think that the CMAF HAM model could be beneficial for reducing storage costs, as well as reducing complexity and on CDN workflows. Because if you are working with large volumes of data and media files, then that could be beneficial because of the storage, that instead of saving like twice everything, you just need to store one thing. But yeah.
Which is what everybody loves, isn't it?
Yeah.
Micaela, I'm going to come to you now. Obviously, we've hinted a lot there at the summer camp, without necessarily kind of delving into what that actually is. Could you give us just a little bit of a background on what Montevideo Tech Summer Camp is, and how it allows these kind of projects to come together?
Of course. Summer Camp is our annual event from Montevideo Tech. Montevideo Tech is a community of engineers, developers that basically are passionate about video and the industry and technology, and we just gathered together. We started with technical meetups. We then included roundtable discussions around business and industry trends, and we also launched this annual event that's called the Summer Camp. This would be our third edition, official edition. We have like different tracks where we work on. One of the tracks, it's our open source projects contributions that, as Coti said, what we usually do is work on open source projects for around 1 to 3 months. And it's like our way to give back to the community. It also allows for a great learning experience, as we are able to, we don't like have a limit to participate. We don't ask for specific backgrounds or experiences, only like you provide your time to contribute and help us build these crazy or wild initiatives that are focused on tools or libraries or standards that are new in the industry, and that right now it's a pain in our community. What we actually do is gather with a lot of industry peers and ask ourselves, like, what's missing for us? What is today, what's been like hard for our day-to-day, like to operate, to work, and we gather like a whole initiative, a bunch of initiatives. We have like 10 this year, I believe. And then we do like a voting. We try to understand and hear the community to see what's like that thing that would make the greater impact, and then work on that for 3 months. We gather weekly. We have like industry leaders like accompanying the team, like providing technical knowledge. We have different developers building that tool or contributing to different libraries. So it's a really cool initiative, like to be involved. If you are a senior in the industry, like have the possibility to share your experience, share knowledge, and contribute and give back to the community. And if you're starting in the industry, have the opportunity to learn from great people, to contribute, to do like a hands-on project on different technologies that are like out there and that would make an impact in the industry you're trying like to grow and to make like your voice and space there, you know. So it's a really cool community.
How do you think that creating that kind of community fosters innovation? Because it obviously sounds like it does. You know, we've seen projects coming out of it, and it sounds like you've got a whole range of people there. What's the kind of magic that happens when you make that community come together?
Well, I think like by gathering a bunch of really senior and experienced people and telling them, hey, where are your problems? Where's the issue? I think like that brainstorming of ideas and the possibility to showcase why we are lacking that tool or why it's important to work on a different standard or a different library is like just like having that space enables innovation, you know. It's like, hey, let's get crazy. It's not like we're waiting for someone like to put an investment. We do an investment. We provide the developers to do it. It's a great learning experience for us. It's also a great way to get to know new technologies and be like in the front of what is being made in the industry. So for us, it's like a huge gain. But I think that what allows is like to ask ourselves like what's missing and like dream, you know. So I believe that it was in the Portland Tech Meetup that Dan Sparaccio from Paramount referred to the summer camp as a hub of innovation, and we were like, hey, you captured like greatly like all the purpose of what we're trying to achieve, you know, because it's like for us it's a great opportunity. We are from Uruguay. I didn't explain that, but we are really far away from where all like the giants in our industry are. So these events allowed us to meet with different industry leaders, to hear from them, to understand where the pains were, and to be able like to use that and transform that into a learning experience from our developers here at Qualabs. So it's like a win-win situation, you know, and it's the possibility for us to learn what's new out there, like in a purpose, and giving like tools and like actually contributing to something that is necessary today. So I think that's the way we like foster that innovation and create like that hub. It's like 3 months to hands-on, do this and focus on that. Of course, it's open source. Everyone can contribute. You can join from around the world. It's not necessarily the experience. I believe I mentioned that. So it's a great way to learn. It's free as well. So the possibility is there. I think it's just say yes, take action, and be there, involved. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have any kind of success stories from the summer camp that you'd like to share with us? I mean, I think we might have one on the call right now.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think Coti is our biggest success story. For me, at least, it's something like, it gets me goosebumps. I mean, I'm really proud of what she achieved. We actually at Qualabs we work for different clients in the industry, but we are under NDAs, so it's not easy for us to share what we do and share our experience and tell about all the impact we've made. So I think like the possibility to be on the project of the summer camp and be able to work and continue working on different tools, like to enhance what we set ourselves to achieve. Allow Coti like to share her story, to share what she's able to achieve, to work with different leaders, to present a talk at Demuxed that it's like one of the communities, the community, I must say, biggest event. Is a stage that, like, when I talk to people that have been in the industry for 20 years, it's a stage that gives fear to the people, like to present a talk and to stand there. And she stood there. She did an amazing presentation. I was actually on vacation, so I was watching her presentation from the airport. I was around like strangers, like crying, because I was so
I love
proud.
that.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's not only because of the summer camp and the visibility it gives, of course, of Qualabs, but it's like, I mean, in an industry that is so male dominated, like having women like making their voice be heard, it's really hard, you know. So
Yeah.
she was really brave, and I'm really proud of her. So, Coti, I tell you again, I think I've told her all the time, but I think she was really brave, and I'm really proud of what she achieved. I think it allowed her to grow a lot and to show what she's able like to achieve as a woman in this industry, and to know new people and like grow her network. So I think like the best success story is her. I'm really proud of you.
Oh, thank you. That was beautiful, Mika.
I love it. And Micaela, I know this is a really important part for you as well, isn't it? So you've actually kind of brought in more of that women in leadership into this year's summer camp. I'm aware that I'm not sure when we're going to be putting this podcast out, so it may be even during the time that the summer camp is happening. But yeah, just tell us a little bit about that leadership strand that you've got coming this year.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. It's as I mentioned, it was our this 2025. It's going to be our third edition, and it was the third year that we weren't seeing women besides from Qualabs like being involved in the initiative, and that was really frustrating for us, because we want to like provide this space, this safe space to foster this innovation, to foster growth, to open like the spaces for new possibilities. So we came up to this workshop that is for leadership, to provide tools, and it's a way like to support people, support the women in our industry, like try to provide a safe space for them to feel comfortable to share their experiences, their careers, their failures, like do workshops, like on hands tools, discussion roundtables, like to foster this empowerment in women, and to provide like this space and tools like for them to share what they can do and to feel confident of what they're doing, and growing. This workshop, it would be here in Uruguay, so it's a bit of a bigger investment that we're asking, because we are asking for you to travel here to Uruguay. We believe that being in person would make this workshop more powerful, and that's why we plan it this way. It's been led by Sophie Lavadi, that it's our VP of people, that actually was the one that helped Coti prepare as well for the Demuxed talk. And it was our way like to really put a lot of effort of providing like the confidence to Coti to be at this stage. So she was our inspiration to say, hey, why don't we share this with the community? Why don't we expand what we did here at Qualabs from Coti, and provide that support and those tools to other women in the industry? So that's the main purpose of the workshop. It's a really cool initiative, 3 different sessions. It's our first trial. We actually have our almost first woman confirmed from the industry, so we're really happy about it. And nothing, the invitation is there. I believe that it's something we'd like to continue in different years. So no matter when this podcast is made, I think like if it's not 2025, it would be 2026.
Awesome. Well, I do hope I could get more involved in that because it sounds absolutely amazing. So obviously, Micaela has touched there on, what the summer camp looks like, and she's talked about you and your experience of kind of getting involved in the technical project and then taking that forward. How have you found that experience, and how has that enhanced for you both technical knowledge, but also, some of those soft skills around networking and presentation delivering? What's that experience been like for you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was an amazing experience. I'm really happy that I had that opportunity. I get also the opportunity to know people also in Demuxed, and also before Demuxed, I met with you, and I also met with other amazing women. And I'm very grateful that I had that opportunity, that I think it would have been really more difficult to connect with them if it wasn't for this event. So yeah, I think that personally, I feel I grew a lot. I also think that I gained more confidence in myself, and I'm really happy about that. Yeah, I'm also proud of myself. I can totally say
you
that.
You should be.
Yeah. And yeah, technically, of course, working on the summer project, I learned a lot of new things that I didn't know before. So it was also a great opportunity on that side too, to learn besides a lot of other people that knows a lot and it's keen to share their knowledge too with everyone else. So that's great.
Thank you so much. Do you know, ladies, I could 100% break my keeping this short rule with you, because I think we could continue this conversation and talk a lot more about both aspects of both, giving space for women in the technical community to grow, and also just the technical things that you've actually done in encoding and things, Coti. But I will keep to my rules and leave it there. It's amazing to hear about the Montevideo Summer Camp. I think it's fantastic, and it's so lovely to hear you both speaking about the experiences that you've had with kind of this. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast and talking about this. It's been lovely to have you, and we will make sure that there are plenty of links to all of the things that we've discussed within this, if anybody wants to kind of delve into them in a bit more detail. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.